Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wrong One's podcast. I'm Dinesh Saki, joined by Amar and Punk. How are we, gents?
Yeah, good man.
Hello. All good, all good. How you guys?
Your weekend so far?
Yeah, so far. Can't complain.
Fair enough. Talking about complaining, obviously, in the thick of things of IPL, we had a massive game yesterday. LSG playing home against the mighty Indians or Mumbai Indians, as they call themselves.
Hmm.
uh, and somehow yeah, complaining and LSG sort of goes hand in hand. But on that note, I thought maybe I'll start with yesterday's game and how much of a reliever that was for someone like Pant, given how close the game was. Maybe I'll start with Punk on Pant's
Okay. All right. So
current
I
state.
yeah, let's cover the entire summary of this thing apart from punts thing. Well, in the previous podcast, right? I did say that they have to score around 220 is the score. That's the winning score for them.
Hmm.
200 plus would be a pass score, right? If you remember the podcast, right? And they were around about that number. But you see, if they had 220, then definitely they would have won. But not for Tilak Verma, right? And like it does happen sometimes. You get stuck, and the best of batsmen have got stuck in that. And one of the instances, I'll just bring this back in a World Cup final, which was in 2014, India versus Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
Yuvraj Singh got stuck in that final, and he was not able to score that runs. And so one of the greatest players of T20, right? It does happen to you don't get your timing right. You try to overhit, so it's not that like it's once best of the players get stuck. They're not able to get the timing right, and so it's happened with Tilak Verma. Yeah, Pant had a lucky escape, right? They should have scored to 20 the way they were going,
Hmm.
and that was like below par because of the bowling they have. Right, they will get stuck a lot of time if they don't score because
Hmm.
they don't have any death bowlers at all in that team. They had a lucky escape. Same thing what Delhi did to them. Mumbai would have easily done if Tilak would have scored.
Hmm.
My bet was like by 18th over it would have got over. Right,
Yeah.
they were on track actually. They were like literally on track, and feel bad for Hardik Pandya in terms
Hmm.
of the entire But yeah, lucky escape. What else to tell?
But let me
The
tell you,
squeeze
is
on his face,
yes.
and
Yeah,
not just
you
for
can
him,
see.
really. I mean, everyone was because now we have started to feel for any LSG captains. So you're like, okay, no, not again, not again. I mean, so it wasn't just Pant. It was every other cricket fan who was watching, and it was like, oh man, somehow get get over the line, LSG, just to stop that post match um
Trauma.
scenes. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
We hit the nail on the head. I was about to say the same thing, Amar. It's not just LSG or Pant. It's the entire cricketing fans all across the world were hoping Pant and LSG wins this game so that the focus is still on cricket and not, so and so. We'll probably
And and
leave it
just
there.
just, just to add to that, right? Most of like you see the IPL cameramen, right? They focus on beautiful girls around. Whenever LSG is there, they're only focusing on going.
I mean, you can't blame the cameraman or the lens, right? They always try to capture the beautiful
So
things on the field. So,
yeah,
maybe those
Yeah.
cameras think Mr.
yeah,
Goenka is the, handsome owner in the stands. Fair play.
Yeah, Mr.
so it's
Goenka has
like
taken away Dhoni's
the
charm
limelight.
because yeah, the limelight of Dhoni, because it was Dhoni's title that he would always attract cameras around the whenever the matches are happening in for when other teams are playing it's girls, but when CSK were playing it's Dhoni, but not so when Mr. Goenka is in the stadium.
Hmm. On that note, I'm starting to wonder, like, as things progress and in future, when LSG travel to Chennai, do you think there's going to be more Goenka supporters than, Dhoni supporters?
They have to be, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Not in Chennai. Not in Chennai. It's because what has happened with the rising Pune Giants, right? So
Fair
it's a
enough.
very different scenario there. So, but
But yeah,
yeah, let's come back to the game. So,
yes, I was to say, like,
um,
obviously back to the game, and we definitely have to talk about the opening partnership, right? I think that sort of helped LSG post a big, massive total when Mitchell Marsh unleashed 60 of 31 deliveries, while Markram was sort of playing the slow hand, and then as he realized, like, Mitchell Marsh got out, then Markram sort of took on. But yeah, openness to opener, Amar, your thoughts on the way March approached the game?
Yeah, that's the only approach it looks like these days in IPL. In this, particularly in this season, you have to have, that electrifying start. And Mitchell Mars is someone who relies on his strength as well. Of course, he likes to bludgeon the opening bowlers, and that's what he did. Many other players, especially the Indian openers, who rely on their timing and the wrist work. At Mitchell Marsh is more of a brutal opener, and he has been scoring good runs up front.
Hmm.
So that's what we saw this time. Um, and Aiden Markran as well, as you mentioned, he was playing the second fiddle initially, and then
Hmm.
he took on. But also, it's always good to see Aiden Markran get runs because they are more prettier, and and at times it looks like Aiden Markran when he makes runs, he's kind of a player who builds his innings really really well and plays around the players, whether it be Mitchell Marsh up or Nicholas Puran. I would say, in this particular instance, Nicholas Puran didn't make many runs, but as it happens always, that whenever he is making runs, Markram is the one who is kind of rotating straight, and he does the same with Mitchell Marsh as well.
Hmm.
So very important role for Markram there, and later on when his time comes, then he takes the charge.
Yeah,
So yeah, very important, the openers here, and I would reel in Nicholas Puran as well in number 3.
absolutely. And obviously some Punk. Anything you would like to add on the opening
no,
partnership?
yeah, like slightly, like the way they went, like opening partnership was good, right?
Hmm.
But once Puran went out, right?
Hmm.
He's like so Markram, right? He played a bit slow.
Hmm.
From the 11th over till the 15th over, he like like from 11.10, like he scored a 4 and then he scores a 6. At 15.1 he scores a 6. So you
Hmm.
see the gap. That's 4 overs, right? In terms of, and what I was trying to say, LSG
Hmm.
was bailed out by Tilak's batting, or they would have lost this match in the
Yeah.
18th over. And I did tell, right, they need 220 on that pitch for
Hmm.
them to, like, that was the winning score. 200 was par. And just
Hmm.
because of Tilak's slight, being, unfortunately, he was not getting the ball right. And
Yeah.
what I was trying to say is, like, you have a great batting depth, yeah,
Hmm.
and like you've built your innings, and then you've come to, like, you've crossed like the 25-30 balls, right? Once you cross the 25 balls, right, you have to have your your strike rate has to go above one. So this depends on the pitch, right? Like if it's a sticky wicket, and it's a very different scenario there, right?
Hmm.
But he went a bit slow from the 11th to 15th over, and this it would have come to haunt them. Yeah,
Sure. Hmm.
they won, but I'm just trying to look at how he played and how he progressed his innings, right? So
Hmm.
that 5 overs is a huge, for 5 overs, and he's got a number of strikes from 11 to 15, and
Hmm.
he's not scored any boundaries, right?
Hmm.
So you, apart from now being a settled player, you also have to make sure that you up the ante, right? Or you're
Yeah.
going to struggle. So at least your strike rate should be 150 plus, because
Hmm.
150 plus is like close to the 200 plus mark, like 180. His strike rate was 140, and with 39 balls, right, you've consumed 40-50% of the match ball as well, right? So this is something which LSG has to see, because they have to compensate because of the bowling they have. That 10, 15, 20 runs
Hmm.
is going to haunt them every time. So, but yeah, this is something on Markram, right?
But
Which
I've
he
just
needs
wondered,
to.
right? The reason he probably went at that strike rate is because they've lost Puran and Pant so early, like back to back. and then all they had is with Badoni on the other end. All they had is David Miller and hopefully Abdul Samad. Abdul Samad, someone like day one day he'll probably smack you for like six sixes, and day two he'll probably get out like on a zero. So do you think that's where Markram had to sort of build an innings again and try and like accelerate towards the
But
end
for
of the
five
pitch?
overs, not scoring any boundary, right?
Hmm.
It does not make sense, Like,
But
for 5 overs, like it's a long time, yeah.
I'm just wondering, is this where
And
we give credit to someone like Hardik Pandya? I mean, a fifer on a day when all the bowlers are like conceding like 10, 11 and over without being able to take any wickets.
Yeah, those bowlers were really onto the mark as well, isn't it? Like you mentioned, Hardik Pandya, he got a fifer there, and he was bowling really good lengths.
Hmm.
Most of the most of the batsmen fell there,
Hmm.
and Putur as well making a name for himself.
Hmm.
Front he took Mitchell Marsh, and then he was bowling really. Um, Good lines as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, all in all, these bowlers were really putting on pressure. But I must say that it looked like at the moment that the pitch was really, really good.
Hmm.
Even though these guys were bowling, good lines and lengths, even then the runs were going.
Hmm.
Just that the overs which Punk were talking about, just
Hmm.
there this the runs slowed down. But yeah, it could be the function of losing wickets, and he maybe Markram realized that, okay, the other guys are not taking any, or he may at that point in time maybe he thought other guys will take the charge, but it didn't really happen. So after that he kind of opened up. But yeah, like you mentioned, bowlers were also really for Mumbai bowlers did their job, kind of. But pitch was really, I mean, it really looked like batting pitch in the first
Absolutely.
innings.
Hmm. So also just sort of moving on to the chase, unfortunately for MI, Rohit had to be pulled out last minute due to a knee injury, and Will Jack sort of filled in. But the most of the impetus came from that brilliant partnership between Namandir and most importantly Surya Kumar Yadav. Before we sort of get into those details, the controversy around the Tilak Verma, I know Punky sort of called out at the start of the call that podcast that comparing to what happened with Yuvraj Singh, the best of the best sometimes struggles and stuff. For me, the big contention is getting him retire out on 9
yeah, that's
eighteen
we will
eighteen
talk
point
about.
five whatever the over is, for someone like Santner. I mean, honestly, no disrespect to Santner, but his strike rate in T20s is 106. So if it was
No, so
Deepak Chahar, I would have said yes. Again, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Like, maybe Pankaj, I'll start with you on the retiring out.
like I wouldn't have retired him. It didn't make sense because he's a pure batsman. The other thing is, like, if there was like a Pollard,
Hmm.
or like a Tim David, which they had like a power hitter, it made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, like a Pollard would. It definitely made sense to send Pollard in, but like you can't send, even a Deepak Chahar wouldn't be like, they're not pure
Yes.
batsmen. They won't be
Hmm.
able to. If Tilak is struggling, that means those new batsmen will struggle more, right?
Hmm.
And that Santner couldn't do anything. And like you could have given him chance of redemption,
Hmm.
right? Or it's a bit embarrassing for him as a player, okay, and also like demoralizing for the batsman for the next game completely,
Hmm.
right? You've made a mockery of the batsman. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was a Pollard, then it made sense because then it was not a mockery because it was more of a tactical thing which people would have done. But sending a Santner in for Tilak, right? You
Hmm.
just made a mockery of and created an embarrassment for him.
Yeah.
You see sometimes you need your player that confidence, right? You've actually
Yeah.
broken his confidence completely.
Hmm.
uh, and whoever did that, right? And it was not Hardik because you could see it was
Yeah.
it was Mahela,
My last call. Yeah.
big mistake for them. Mahela, big mistake for them, but
Hmm.
it can fire him off for the next matches, right? But what they've done, it's not good
Hmm.
for the team, as a whole.
Amar, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just I would like to add that it was a brain freeze from Mahila. I do not understand this because such a class batsman. Of course, he was struggling there, but he was never to say that next ball he would have hit for a six.
Hmm.
When you compare with him with Santner, there is a pedigree that Tilak has earned over the past few matches that he has been in the India side
Hmm.
and the Mumbai side as well. So
Hmm.
I do not understand this. Like Punk mentions that okay, if was there Pollard was waiting in the stands? No, it was Santner or whoever after that. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me.
But one of the things I want to point out, right? So the reason, in the before the mega auction, they've retained Tilak Varma is because of what he's done last season. There are multiple occasions between him and Tim David. They actually won games for Mumbai out of nowhere. Like him coming in at
Yeah.
four and Tim David at 6 and 7. They've just smacked ballers here and there, and obviously they didn't qualify for the top four, but he actually won them some games. That's one of the primary reasons they've retained him. And then to obviously come up with such a I don't know, brain freeze or whatever
Yeah,
the
exactly.
management
And
does.
if you see Tilak Varma, the way he plays, he like Suryakumar Yadav. Suryakumar Yadav plays with very very strange angles.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar with Tilak Varma.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the textbook shots he plays, but if you see Tilak Varma also plays really
Behind the
strange angle
square,
shots. So
yes.
he is a very very handy hitter as
Mm-hmm.
long as well as he is a very good straight bat player, but he's
Mm-hmm.
also a very good handy hitter in different angles. So it was just a matter of time. I mean, Maywell, I would have said, if you're taking a chance,
Mm-hmm.
say, if you're retiring him and you're taking a chance on any other batsman, might as well take a chance on him. Just let him bat and take a chance on him.
See what
So
happens
that would
here.
have been a better chance, percentage than any other batsman. So why not? I mean, just
The
mind-boggling.
probability was not with Santner coming in,
Yeah, exactly.
because he's played like 20-25 balls, right? They just needed to go and give him some bit of confidence and just talk
Yeah.
him out, right? You're like trying to overhit, just try to time the ball, and just place it, right? Or give more chance to Hardik,
Mm-hmm.
right? Rather
Yeah.
than trying to hit, just because you still had 2 overs. But yeah, like it happens, right? The best
Mm-hmm.
of players have struggled, and
Yeah.
that's why I bought Yuvraj Singh, right,
Mm-hmm.
in that World Cup final, because
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to tell that we all of us know, right? But we cannot say that Yuvraj was he's won the World Cup for us, so.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's
Uh,
it's one of those
you
days,
know,
right? Mm-hmm.
this, yeah, the pitches, people will struggle. You can't expect everybody to go and bang bang every other time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the best of players have struggled, right? So
Absolutely right. But even irrespective of what happened with Tilak Verma, one of the things I want to call out is I think the game was actually won in that penultimate over, 19th over, because he still needed like 36 something or 35. And then Shadul Thakur, no, not even 35, I think it was 31 something. And he only considered like 6 or 7, and he sort of pulled the game back. So again, going back into what happened with auction, it wasn't picked. And then three of the LSG bowlers were injured. So all of a sudden, Zahir Khan had to call Shadul and see if he wants to come. He was supposed to be in the county, but instead he chooses LSG first game of the in LSG first game. He picked like 3 wickets, whatever. And then yesterday, what he's delivered, I mean, Lord Thakur is actually turning it on for LSG, if anything.
He is, isn't it? I'm just loving what he's doing. He's come back even better than what his previous performances, and I think he's loving it too, and that's why he's able to deliver. And I'm just thinking that there is a performance coming from him from bat as well. There's a big one that is waiting, and the chance he will get, and he will deliver there as well. He's a very very handy batsman as well. So for LSG,
Mhm.
he's a match winner there. Giving in 19th over, I think, what you said, 6 runs. That's
Mhm.
crazy when batsmen are waiting for you to hit them out of the park. So yeah, amazing. And like I say, there is a batting performance waiting around the corner as well.
Talking about batting, it was good to see Sky back in the run. So obviously he played a brilliant innings the previous game, but yesterday he almost single-handedly won the game.
Turning
Yeah, so
point,
like
wasn't it?
you see, like he started a bit slow initially,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And that's like what I'm trying to say. Like if you're out of touch, right, give some time to yourself, right?
Hmm.
And you will be able to like get, because you have that the talent. You see,
Hmm.
a lot of people like you just come in and bang bang. It doesn't work because
Hmm.
they're different pitches, right? And like you like the first 1 over 2 overs, like he was very slow. Like he played the 5 6 balls. He didn't go first ball and try to scoop, and he took his time, and then he goes after like 5 or 6 7 balls, when after he's seen what the pitch is doing, what the bowling like bowlers doing, and then after that, he continues the same thing, like, and he actually built a very good innings, right? And very close to getting the match. Uh, you know, One of the best innings from him actually. If you see, with all the struggles he had faced from like how many like across the international innings and across this 3 IPLs,
Hmm.
close to like 12 innings he has been struggling, right? With that pressure, then he comes back and he builds this inning. It would have been good if they would have won.
Yeah.
It would have given like a bit legitimacy to that, the work he had done, the hard work towards building this inning, right? He was not
Absolutely.
the typical Surya Kumar Yadav where he comes and like
Hmm.
he goes at like 200 plus strike rate where he scores, right? This was like
A
very
mature.
hard built innings, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, mature innings, and then
Hmm.
you know yeah, just that couldn't get them over the line. But yeah, good to see him back. He's your Indian team captain, right? And from here, I think so that confidence will start building up now. So look out for MI now. They are like getting gelling together.
Hmm.
The batsmen are coming in form. They have few chinks here and there, but now you can see the team actually. Some of the middle order batsmen now getting that. The mojo back basically. So
Absolutely. Hopefully, Tilak Verma fires in the upcoming games and put all of this conversation to rest. But yeah, happy for
yeah, they,
LSG.
they need to put Tilak is too low the order, right?
Hmm.
He has to come at tier 1 2 3. That's it,
That's something I thought
right?
yesterday. Like,
I
how come?
I would rather open with him, and like I don't have the confidence with Will Jacks and these guys. I would rather have a Tilak Verma opening the innings if he has that thing. If you
Hmm.
can't put him at 3 because of Surya Kumar Yadav or somebody else, I would just give him an opportunity to open the innings
Hmm.
and get another power hitter in the middle order from a foreign power hitter, right?
Hmm.
That will make the team much more stronger.
They have Santner, right?
All right, no comments on that.
Oh, well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this session, boys. As always, I appreciate all the feedback. And for our obviously subscribers, viewers, whoever's following us, do share some feedback. Let us know how things are progressing on our cast. Anything you want us to change, do let us know. And then over to you, Amar.
Yeah, hit the bell icon.
Thank you. Thank you, gents. Appreciate it. We're going to wrap up on the note.
Thank you.
Bye.